I started viewing life as my teacher. So this is going to be uncomfortable. What do I have to learn? We do ourselves a disservice if we think that we're going to be able to avoid all the troubleshooting and the trying and the fits and starts and the failure, right? If we wait till we're perfect. Part of the fun of being in a relationship, I find, is the learning that then happens. What a pleasure. What a pleasure to get to have this challenge in this moment. What's the alternative? You're not here. You know, you don't want to turn 50. Well, what's the alternative? You're not alive.
You get to a point where like talking isn't doing anything anymore. And in fact, it's sort of like giving you this like scapegoat, like, okay, I dumped out my stuff at therapy, like time to just go back and live my life. But like the action's not happening.
We get so paralyzed by, I think, emotions sometimes, you know, and I think there's a lot of encouragement. Like, what are you fearful of? Here's a 14-step program, 6 months to work through your fear. Well, when my kids are really anxious about something, you know, and they have to leave for school, I don't say, oh, I'm sorry, you're anxious. Don't go to school today. Oh my gosh, honey, you're anxious? Stay home. No, I say, take your anxiety to school today, put it in your back pocket and ask it what it has to tell you. You'll be okay. Everybody else in the building's anxious too. You're in good company. Have a great day. And I'm not making light of it, but it really is just a feeling.
It's so interesting because as you're talking, I mean, obviously you're trained in this as well, but there's such a language to this stuff and understanding and relation to the emotions, to the experiences that I do think the therapeutic models give us. And that's why it's really the both and, because it's like you have to have that baseline. You have to understand what it means to feel through an emotion. You have to understand how to even label what anxiety feels like somatically in your body. Like, oh, you're like feeling really jittery and your stomach hurts and butterflies and there's a lump in your throat and you can't sit still. Oh, you're probably anxious. Okay, like let's sit with that. What does that mean? So it's almost like that that constant wheel of, okay, become the student and then become the teacher and go out and like embody and live the things and then become the student again and then become the teacher again versus just staying stuck as the student and that's also giving so much of your power away to the modalities, the tools, the experts. It's like you have to become the expert of you, of your body, your anatomy, your feelings, your emotions. And that will come little by little over time. And then that is where you can really like reclaim that power by going out into the world.
So this is probably an episode for you if you've been in therapy for a while and you're just spinning your wheels and talking now. This is a good one to come back to and just check yourself. Like maybe therapy is still supportive and maybe it's time to put it into practice, or maybe you can let that go for a while and just focus on your real life and get out of your head and get into your experience.
Yeah. I think that sort of I'll wait till I'm healed way of thinking also gets in the way of finding what we're looking for, because if we're going to wait till we're healed, right? I'll wait till I'm finished, till I feel better, or there's a perfectionistic quality to that, like I'm going to work until it's all done. And then I'll be ready. I think that our expectations are that which we're seeking is also in that state of completion, perfection, it's going to meet this sort of standard. And I mean, if you ask anybody who started a business and was wildly successful, they'll tell you that they failed more than they succeeded, right? That all the learning happened in the failing and the doing and the trying, right? They didn't just like come up with an idea, perfect it in their heads, and then go and execute it. No, the execution is about the trying and the troubleshooting, right? I mean, that's life. And, so we do ourselves a disservice if we think that we're going to be able to avoid all the troubleshooting and the trying and the fits and starts and the failure, right? And the mistakes if we wait till we're ready, done, perfect. And part of the fun of being in a relationship, I find, is the learning that then happens. The like, oh my gosh, I didn't recognize that about myself. You're showing me something that I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And now in that conversation, I feel closer to you. That's intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm scared right now. This feels scary. I didn't expect to feel like this so quickly with another human. This feels really vulnerable. That's intimacy. That's relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're really craving, is being able to be that real with another human. Or, you can extrapolate this to more than just relationships. I really believe profoundly, but even in close friendships, right? If there's no vulnerability, what do you have?
Logistics.
You have logistics. You have like, want to get coffee on Tuesday, and then you sit together and you talk about other people and you gossip and you whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
You trauma bond.
I know.
This made me think of something, Sarah. So, okay, I can picture a few people in my mind that sort of fit this description, but they have something that they are like, when kind of what we said before. They're like, when I fix this thing, then I'll take that action. Then I'll put myself out there. Then I'll do that. And I'm like, okay. So they could just take the action now, but what is preventing them? Is it fear of being rejected, fear of failure? And sometimes, if I really think about the examples I have in my head, it's that they have an aspect of self, whether it's a habit, behavior, or physical descriptor, like they don't like the way they look or something like that. And they're like, if I can fix this thing that I'm ashamed of or not proud of, I want to fix it, because the fear is less of putting themselves out there. It's more, how could I possibly put myself out there with full confidence, knowing that I dislike this part of myself so much? I'm so uncomfortable in my own skin this much. Like, it's almost like scarier to do that than it is to even connect with the next thing they want to do. So for someone who is struggling with accepting where they are at right now, whether that's in their mind, in their habits, in their body, whatever, what would you say for that person who's like, oh, but I don't want to be seen like this. I need to fix this before I'm seen.
Like, so many things come to mind. The first thing that came to mind was if that was one of my kids coming to me, I'd go back to the, let's take anxiety to school. Would you let your fourth grader not go to school because they didn't feel good about X? I weigh too much. I don't like how I look, so I can't go to school. Oh, okay. No, you don't have to go to school. We'll wait to go to school till you lose 20 pounds. You'd be like, what? I mean, there's always going to be something that you could use as a reason to not allow what's meant for you or to go after what you really want. I mean, there'll be a million somethings. I don't know. I feel a little bit emotional imagining somebody, that scenario that you're even describing, Jess, because it just makes me kind of sad, because I think our world is full of people who are waiting until they feel perfect, to do the thing. And I can relate quite deeply to that. I think there was a point right as I was turning 50 where I was like, oh my God, are you kidding? F it. We're just going to do the thing. And what changed? I stopped really caring about what other people thought. I stopped caring as much. I still care. Let's be real. Everybody cares. I stopped caring as much. I started viewing life as my teacher. Right? So this is going to be uncomfortable. What do I have to learn? My kids who show up in school and are all anxious. I don't understand anything. I don't know calculus. Well, you're not supposed to know calculus. You're taking calculus, so you learn calculus. You actually aren't supposed to know it before you start the class. Where did we get this message that we were supposed to have it all figured out before we lived our lives? Life is about learning, regardless of your age.
And my big 5,000-foot spiritual view of it all, if we think about us as souls that have come to the planet maybe multiple times, And this time we chose this experience. And for some reason, it was interesting for our soul to choose this kind of nose and this kind of hair and this kind of job and this sort of anxiety. Like knowing that every experience is interesting to the soul and that your soul chose this experience because it's just so perfect for whatever it is you're meant to accomplish here. Like the way that you look, the way that you are, your so-called imperfections or the things that you're good at, like they're all perfectly suited in guiding you towards what you're meant to do and what you're meant to contribute. Like even the things you're bad at, amazing. They're indicators that that's not your thing, right? Like the way that you look, incredible. Like you're meant to look like that to like make your biggest impact on the world or to catch the right person's attention or to show up with presence or to overcome some insecurity that's like long held in your family history that you can be free of. So if you can get on that spiritual level about it and be like, incredible, how interesting. I chose this experience on a soul level and like, I get this, I get to work with these pieces. It's like life is your art project and you are the materials that you get to like splatter on the canvas and make something with. Then you can start to have more like reverence and gratitude for the pieces that you were given.
Grace, you've been saying for the last few months, what a pleasure.
What a pleasure.
What a pleasure. Yeah. I would mention something challenging that happened and you'd say, what a pleasure. I've used this with other people, and told them about you.
Yeah.
Like, what a pleasure. What a pleasure to get to have this challenge in this moment. What's the alternative? You're not here. Sort of like, you don't want to turn 50. Well, what's the alternative? You're not alive, then like celebrate being, whatever, 50 or 40, however you, what a pleasure.
What a pleasure.
What a pleasure. All the things that life is showing us and teaching us. You don't get to do that. You don't get to have that experience if you aren't living your life. And if we can see everything as pleasurable, right? The learning, the living, the doing, the being, all of it, right? It's a nice way to go about living a life that does have its challenges because you will have them, right? You welcome them. Peter would always say, you can react, you can respond, or you can create. Well, creating your life is loving it, right? Is choosing to love everything. Right. So in the middle of my divorce, when things were really hard and not very pleasant, right, I would just make this choice. I'm going to love this moment. And I learned something powerful that I can love really hard things. I can do that. I can love unpleasant things. I can love days when I feel like shit. What a pleasure to just have this life, this life, not the life I'm dreaming of, but this very life. Yeah. Go live a little, see what's out there for you. And then go talk to your therapist about it. Or call me. Right?
Yes.
And, send me a DM and we'll have a chat about it.
Have you shared on the podcast yet about the coaching stuff?
Not on the podcast. No.
Maybe
I don't
make
think
a little
so.
note.
Make a little note.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to start coaching again.
So exciting.
Yeah, I am excited. I've done a lot of it. And then I took a little break and the podcast, I think, has really illuminated for me the desire I have to really support people in the way they need to be supported on more of an individual basis, really create that container for what people might need. Yeah, and I'm excited about it. I'm very excited, actually. I love the chance to connect with the two of you. Yeah, so much of these learnings and realizations are made more real for me in the conversations that we have.
Agreed.
I mean, that's literally the whole theme of the episode. It's like we're all on our own individual healing journeys, but it's when we can be in group, be in community, be in real life is when it's like, oh yeah, I did pick up a lot of wisdom around that, or I do really understand that on a deep level, or wow, I can even talk about that and that's going to help someone else,
Yeah. I think back to the episode we did at the end of the first season where we talked about everything that happened for each of us individually in that season, right? And what an experience that was.
I know.
It was
So
in the
cool to see
doing.
us all growing together.
All growing up.
Oh, so sweet.
All right.
And
Well,
growing. Oh,
all right. Well, until next time,
yeah.
Thank you.
Bye,
go get
guys.
after it.
Bye.
Bye.